Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you all right now. My name is Lindsey Quinlan, and I work at International Cat Care. And today I'm going to be sharing one of our programs with you called Cat-Friendly Homing. And then my colleague, Dr. Vanessa Whitfield, will present to you a cat-friendly homing case study. Before we dive deeper into cat-friendly homing, let's start by looking at the problems that we're facing in the sector. We are in a crisis. Around the world, cat populations are booming, veterinary capacity is falling, cost of living pressure is mounting, and funding is more difficult. So organizations and sector workers are stretched financially and emotionally. The old responses just aren't working. And a common response to the crisis is to build more shelters, add more cages, so we can house more cats. But the more we build, the more we fill. And we cannot house our way out of this overpopulation problem. This can result in simply moving cats from one kind of hardship to another, and for many, long-term confinement is even more distressing than from where they came. It's just better hidden. Also, the language that we may use to store cats reassures us, not them. So we call these places sanctuaries or safe havens, but from the cat's perspective, prolonged confinement feels anything but safe. And yet the act of rescue is often praised, regardless of the outcome. This slide here shows where much of the sector is currently working, but also where we need to move towards. We need to shift from the lower left quadrant, which is reactive, constantly taking in cats, endless capacity building. Staff and volunteers are doing their absolute best, but they're often stretched beyond their limits. It's well-intentioned, but it's not working. Real progress happens when we shift to the upper right quadrant, which is where we're working strategically, proactively, and in a cat-friendly way. Working towards balanced cat populations, and cat-friendly homing is a part of the path to get us there. The human factor is also important to address. In many parts of the world, this work is powered by volunteers who are driven by compassion and care. And what's sometimes missing is a deep understanding of what cats actually need from us. This is the question that led to cat-friendly homing. If cats could design the system, what would it look like? From their perspective, not ours. And cat-friendly homing is really our best attempt to answer that question. It's built on evidence where it exists, and it's guided by best practice where it doesn't. It's shaped by the reality we all face, extremely limited resources. And it recognizes that people working with unowned cats aren't cat experts, but nor do they need to be. At its core, cat-friendly homing is about three things: admitting cats wisely, respecting the species, and making outcome decisions that meet the individual's needs, and not our hopes, assumptions, or preferences for them. And cat-friendly homing is a model where welfare meets impact. It gives organizations a clear pathway to deliver the best possible welfare for the cat and the biggest possible impact for the organization. Because when we use cat-friendly principles and put the cat's needs first, we deliver better welfare, resulting in physically and mentally healthier cats. This enables us to make smarter use of resources, resulting in shorter stays, fewer returns, and better well-being for our staff and volunteers who are working within their capacity. And all of this ultimately delivers bigger organizational impact. More cats are helped, and often with a cost savings too. To admit wisely, we need to understand who the cat is and whether a homing journey is right for them. This is fundamental to cat-friendly homing. Despite all cats being the same species, they have vastly different needs and desires. And we show this on our lifestyle spectrum. On one end, we have the feral cat, which is unsocialized to people, living in uninhabited areas and hunting for survival. Next are street cats. This type of cat is suited to living outdoors in villages, towns, or cities, being fed by people, either intentionally or unintentionally, but keeping their distance from us. Feral and street cats are not suited to the cat-friendly homing journey. They require a TNR process instead. Cat-friendly homing is specifically suited to the pet cat, which you can see all the way to the right. This type of cat is well socialized to people and comfortable living in our homes with us. And to the left of the pet cat, in the messy middle, is the in-betweener, which is a type of cat coined by iCat Care that has to describe a cat that's lived with people as pets, but unsuccessfully, because they either haven't had the right experiences with people as very young kittens, or because they have a temperament trait that makes them persistently frustrated or anxious around us. And it's really important these cats are identified because they are the ones that tend to stay in homing centers the longest. And if they are homed again into a typical pet home, they tend to become distressed, not meet owner expectations, and they're either returned or just passed on, all while having really poor quality of life. So cat-friendly homing addresses how to support in-betweeners both in care and in a future non-traditional home. So how does cat-friendly homing work in practice? The model is built around 7 essential components. There are only cats suitable to live as pets should go through the homing process. Time spent in confinement should be as short as possible. No cat should ever be worse off from our intervention. Confinement must be a short-term step. Each cat should be treated as an individual. All cats and kittens should be neutered. And feral or street cats should go through a supported TNR process. And cat-friendly homing follows 3 key stages of a cat's journey through care. And at each stage, it offers tools that support good practice. So at intake, we triage carefully to make sure admission is truly the right option. We gather detailed histories. We manage intake volumes to stay within our capacity to care for each cat well. During care, we manage stress and biosecurity effectively. We use tools like the traffic light assessment to assess whether a cat is comfortable and intervene to resolve distress. We apply cat-friendly interaction to give cats choice and control over all of their social interaction with us. And we routinely assess quality of life and act on what we see. During outcome, which is always the goal from the moment we first learn about a cat and decide to take it in, we take a flexible, creative approach to homing. We offer alternative lifestyle options for in-betweeners and unsocialized cats, and CFH provides structured tools to support objective decision-making, especially the difficult decisions, and uses data to track progress over time. Now I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Ness Whitfield, who will share an example of cat-friendly homing in action.
Hi everyone, my name's Dr. Vanessa Whitfield and I'm the RSPCA's lead vet for our branch network. You've just heard from Lindsey about the principles of cat-friendly homing, and now I'm going to tell you about the impact of the programme in a real shelter. The RSPCA's West Dorset branch Taylor Centre is a small shelter in the beautiful Dorset countryside, housing cats alongside rabbits and small mammals. When we began working with them in 2023, they housed over 80 animals, including up to 48 cats, in their shelter at any one time. RSPCA shelters routinely submit the number of long-stay animals in their care, and this identified that there was a higher than expected number at the West Dorset Centre. In 2022, over 30% have been there for more than 6 months, with around 70% of their total population having a length of stay of more than 4 months. This was particularly high compared to similar RSPCA operations. We know that length of stay impacts both the welfare of the animals in care and the shelter's throughput, and hence their ability to help as many vulnerable animals as possible. So my behaviour team colleagues and I concluded that offering a site visit to look into this further was the best way forward. Senior clinical animal behaviourist Bryony Francis and I spent 2 days at the shelter looking at all aspects of their operations and the veterinary and behavioural care provision, and came up with an initial action plan for them to improve welfare and throughput. A key concept we needed to communicate was that an animal hasn't been helped until their health and welfare has been improved and they have reached a suitable outcome in a timely way. The team needed to be quickly upskilled in high welfare cat sheltering. They needed cat-friendly homing. The shelter team enrolled in the coaching programme where they were upskilled in all aspects of the cat's journey in care, including intake decision-making and, crucially, adoptions, which were identified as a big roadblock to throughput at their shelter. This allowed me and Bryony to focus our time on long-stay animals with complex needs and build relationships and new ways of working with their vet and behaviourist. I also calculated the shelter's capacity for care, factoring their staffing and space capacities, access to key resources such as foster home, and the animal population they work with into this. This showed that in February 2023, they were well beyond their capacity for care, and some radical changes were needed to maximise welfare and shelter operations. I halved the number of animals the RSPCA licensed them to house, reducing the number of cats from 48 to 24. The other key recommendations were to subscribe to a shelter animal data platform, start conducting monthly population rounds, and create a fostering programme. An ability to reflect on their length of stay data monthly and react accordingly to maximise welfare was also crucial. The plan bore immediate fruit, and there was a rapid drop in the proportion of animals with a very long length of stay, dropping from over 40% to less than 15% by May 2023, as you can see here on the graph. But what about the impact on operations and throughput? Here in the table you can see that, despite having half the number of animals in the shelter at any one time, the throughput was significantly increased, with the intake and outcomes both increasing, indicating an increased flow of animals through care. When I compared the shelter metrics from 2022 to 2023, intake had increased by 24%, and live outcomes, which includes adoptions and return to owner, had increased by 31%. It is important to note that there was also an increase in non-live outcomes, which was in part due to a number of the long-stay cats being assessed as not suitable for adoption on health and welfare grounds and therefore being euthanised. There can be a nervousness that understanding and meeting the welfare needs of the individual cat is at odds with efficient shelter throughput. I hope in this talk that we have demonstrated that, rather than being mutually exclusive, these two concepts are intrinsically linked, and the cat-friendly homing programme is instrumental in supporting shelters to bring about this positive change. I'd like to thank my colleagues at the RSPCA West Dorset branch for allowing me to share their success, which they're rightly proud of. I'd also like to thank International Cat Care and my colleague Bryony Francis. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to discuss the content of this short presentation further, and if you'd like to do that, please reach out to me via email.
Cat-friendly homing is just one piece of a much bigger jigsaw puzzle. Shelters cannot be successful in isolation. We need to balance downstream care, which is the shelter, with upstream action, addressing overpopulation, supporting communities, and preventing intake in the first place. Because when upstream work is done, and it's done well, and we have balanced cat populations, fewer cats need shelters at all. Cat-friendly homing is not the solution to overpopulation, but for those cats who do need temporary shelter, it offers a safe, swift, and effective pathway. If you would like to learn more, we invite you to explore our Cat-Friendly Homing Foundations course. It is free, fully online, self-paced, and made up of short, bite-sized modules to fit in with your busy schedules. It's designed for real-world application. It helps any organization, wherever they are, begin putting cat-friendly principles into practice, and it takes just 8 to 10 hours to complete. Ness and I would like to thank you all for listening and allowing us to share cat-friendly homing with you. Thank you to ICAM for giving us this opportunity. And also thank you to Battersea for supporting our Cat-Friendly Homing Foundations course with a grant from the Battersea Global Enabler Fund. Should anyone want to reach out to either of us, here are our contact details. And should anyone want more information on any of our work with unowned cats at iCat Care, including population management, please reach out to us at unownedcats@icatcare.org. Thank you.